And I'm waiting for YouTube to catch up. So far, it looks like I may be having the same problem as yesterday. All right, hold on just a moment. Let me send a quick message to Kamal, then I'll get started. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Welcome everyone. Welcome to Options with Doug, streaming live daily on Bookmap Discord and sometimes on the Bookmap YouTube channel at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Before I go no further, let me go through the disclosures. All Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure. Trading futures, equities, and options involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. And let me check. I've got a message from Kamal's. Okay, he says I am live. Okay, great. All right, so that appears to be working. And let me just check. Okay, Kamal indicates I'm live. I'm not seeing it, but I'll assume that is the case. Okay. As a reminder, my presentation and the Options with Doug chat room in Discord is focused on options, order flow, the impact of options markets on stocks and futures, and the influence of market maker hedging flow on price action. I have a two-step process for trading, and the first is planning, and that is based on positional analysis. And I look at how traders and market makers are positioned in the options market and how those positions change from day to day to help develop a thesis for the day regarding expected range and volatility as well as a directional bias. And the second step in my process is execution. And I look at real-time order flow in Bookmap and real-time market maker hedging flow in Spotgamma Hero to confirm my thesis and to find and execute setups. And on topic, questions and comments are welcome. And that applies to during this presentation as well as any other time in the Options with Doug chat room. Please keep your questions and comments on these topics: options, order flow, the impact of options markets on stocks and futures, and the influence of market maker hedging flow on price action. So again, on topic, questions and comments are very welcome. Okay, got that out of the way, and let's take a look. Take a look at the live market now while I go over my agenda. So today what I want to talk about is first of all data. I mentioned this yesterday, I'll go over it today, and there is an important announcement, data coming out at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and that is today. That is the FOMC minutes. So that is today, and there was some data this morning the ISM PMI, and again the FOMC minutes come out at 2 p.m. and that has been a big market mover recently. So we'll watch the live market at that time. And then tomorrow there's jobless claims and more PMI data out at 9:45 a.m. Eastern Time. And then Friday is the next big data drop, and that is the employment situation at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And that is often a big market mover as well. And then the ISM PMI data out at 10 a.m. So that's the data. Again, we'll watch the live market at 2 p.m. So today, this is the ES. The support and resistance levels that are in play today are shown on the chart. And what I'm showing on my chart is I have two columns for levels. And the first is the SG, that's the Spotgamma cloud notes levels. And those show levels that are for the SPX. So that is SPX 3850 converted to an equivalent ES price. So right now, Spotgamma is adding 25 points to SPX to come up with an equivalent ES level. And also, the Spotgamma notes also show combined levels, combo levels, that combine SPX and SPY levels. Those numbers are converted to an equivalent SPX number and then converted to an equivalent ES number for the cloud notes here. And the second column, this is my column, and these are my cloud notes, and I'm showing the important SPY levels and also the support and resistance levels that are noted in the Spotgamma AM Founders Note. So the important thing to note here is, first of all, the test of the 380. Actually, that is the 380 key gamma strike. It was the put wall yesterday, and today the put wall dropped down to 370, I believe. I had some technical difficulties again today, and this information was not available at the time I was trying to record this data and update my spreadsheets. So 380 is the key gamma strike, and that's still a significant level. And I checked a SPY chart, and the low was exactly 380. So SPY tested that level to the tick and moved higher, and that was just after 10 a.m. And it looks like the next target up above for this trend is the ES 3900 level. And also it looks like ES has spent quite a bit of time here at the volatility trigger level, and that is the SPX 3840. Shown here is the equivalent ES is 3865. And it looks like there was a nice retest here of the L3 3850 level. Again, that's an SPX level. Okay, so those are the support and resistance levels that are in play today. Let's just zoom a little bit and see if there's anything above. And not really until the SPX 3900 level at ES 3925. But there's quite a bit of liquidity here at 3900, ES 3900, and 3910 in the way of that target. But if price moves today with the FOMC minutes, that SPX 3900 level could certainly be in play. Okay, shifts in levels. And there was, let's go back. I'm going to look at Equity Hub today to see that. There was some very strange information with SPY that just doesn't make sense. So I'm going to ignore this for now. And what I'm talking about is this data right here. So if you recall, SPY actually closed lower yesterday, and it makes absolutely no sense for the put wall, call wall, and absolute gamma strike to increase like this when SPY was down the previous day. So there must be some bad data somewhere. So I'm going to ignore that. So let's take a look now at Equity Hub, which is showing different data. And this is a good way to look at all the levels anyway. So let's start with SPX. And the only shift in level, so what I'm looking at, this is the 5-day history for the key daily levels. So this is what I'm looking at. Let me redraw that. So this is the key gamma strike, the hedge wall, or the volatility trigger. It's called the hedge wall in Equity Hub, but for the index products, it's actually the volatility trigger. So that's the only change, a slight drop down in the volatility trigger from 38.55 to 38.40. And that is this number right here. So that's it, SPX. Still put dominated, and that's shown by the blue line here, the put gamma being significantly lower than the orange line, which is call gamma. So that's SPX, minor shift in the volatility trigger. And here's SPY. And I'm assuming these are the correct numbers. So again, what I'm looking at here, this is from yesterday to today. It actually doesn't, it's showing 102. I think that may have to do with a holiday. So the key gamma strike remains at 380, and I forgot to make my cursor larger. Give me just a moment to do that. Okay, so this should be easier to see. So the key gamma strike remains at 380, and the volatility trigger has dropped from 386 to 380. The call wall has dropped from 390 to 383, and then the put wall has dropped also from 380 to 370, if this data is correct, and I'm assuming that it is. It looks more reasonable than the data that's shown in the founder's note. Okay, let me check for questions on YouTube. Let's see if I can. Okay, I'm not seeing anything on YouTube, but apparently, according to Kamal's, it is working. So I'm sorry I can't see any any questions and comments in YouTube chat. Let me just try and refresh that. And still nothing, so sorry about that. I can only see chat in Bookmap Discord. Okay, so also note that SPY is still very put dominated. Put gamma is much larger than call gamma. And finally, let's take a look at QQQ. Also put dominated. Key gamma strike remains the same. There's a drop lower in the volatility trigger and a slight drop in the call wall. All right, let's go take a look at the data again. And I'm going to ignore the data for SPY. So I'm just going to look at SPX here. And this is gamma notional. This is something that I look at every day. And I see, hold on a second, I've got a message from Kamal's. Okay, so he says it is working. Again, sorry if you're watching on YouTube, I can't see the chat, so I apologize. Hopefully I'll get that worked out by tomorrow. Okay, so gamma notional, and this is showing market maker's position on the gamma curve. And this indicates that market maker's position is negative. And that means that traders are long puts, market makers are short puts, and they have to sell futures to hedge their delta exposure as price drops. And when price increases, they can buy back those short futures. So in a negative gamma environment, they are trading in the direction of price, and that tends to increase volatility. And that's a characteristic of a negative gamma environment. And regarding the SPY gamma notional, yesterday it was minus 1292, and again this number of positive 6, I don't understand that. So it was, my guess is it would have been more negative than yesterday, given the increase in VIX yesterday, as well as the drop in SPY, and also given the the heavy put dominance that was shown in Equity Hub. So the SPX gamma notional yesterday was minus 366, and it has shifted to minus 496 today. So it has become more negative. Okay, and let's take a look at the Vanna charts now. Let's take a look at the we'll take a look at the S&P 500 charts and the Vanna charts. So first of all, the S&P 500. Again, I'm going to ignore SPY. It just doesn't make any sense. So these are the absolute gamma levels for SPX. And recall the put wall is at 3,700, and that is the strike. And that is the strike with the largest net negative gamma position. And it can often act as support, but it's pretty far down based on the current price. And looking at today, these levels, the 3,750 and the 3,800, would be expected to act as support before price gets down to 3,700. That may be a longer term move, and it could be initiated today with the Fed minutes. the FOMC minutes. So we'll see in just a few minutes when that data comes out. So, key put gamma levels 3850, and that is a resistance level today. It was noted as a resistance level, and price is trading above that level now. And there's 3900, and then 4000 remains the key gamma strike, and that is the strike with the highest absolute gamma, positive and negative, and also it's also the call wall, and that is the strike with the largest net positive gamma. And Vanna charts. And we'll stick with SPX here. And this is showing how market makers' delta notional or delta exposure changes with changes in price and implied volatility, and that's shown by the green curve. And the way to interpret this is just draw a line through this green curve that's usually parallel to the black line, and that indicates again that market makers' delta exposure increases as price drops, and they have to sell futures to hedge their delta exposure as price drops. And then the black line shows how their delta notional, delta exposure changes as time passes. So the green line shows the Vanna effect, and the black line shows the charm effect. And Samerson asked, when that becomes more negative, can we draw any conclusions with the information, with that information other than selling futures as price moves lower? And as gamma notional becomes more negative, I would expect market makers to have to hedge their delta exposure more aggressively. So that would be my expectation. Okay, so that's the positional analysis, and let's take a look at some setups. And first of all, I'm going to go to Spotgamma Hero, and let's take a look at ES. And we've got about 5 or 6 minutes before the FOMC minutes are released. Back to total. So what I saw this morning was a great divergent setup. I'm going to zoom in on this a bit. And this is the divergent setup, showing Hero rising. And let's go back, let's separate that out again into puts and calls. So traders were both buying calls and selling puts. As price decreased. And remember the test to the tick of the 380 SPY 380 key gamma strike, and then price reverses higher, and that is really just a classic Hero kickoff setup. Hero rising, price continues to fall, and then reverses higher at a key strike, a key gamma strike, round number, or a level with a high liquidity, or it could be all. So let's go take a look at Bookmap again. Leave that like that. So again, here's the reversal at the 380. That's showing that it's the put wall, but it's actually the key gamma strike. And notice how in this case, well, that part of the kickoff strategy is some other players come on the field and move price higher, move the ball higher, And this is showing that at this point, this is when aggressive traders see all the green dots here and CVD rising. That's the pink to dark blue line showing that aggressive traders are coming in. And then the yellow line shows buy stop orders. So when price touches that level, and options, again, remember that options traders were in the market buying calls and selling puts before this happened. And then at the reversal, the buy stops start firing. And thanks, Trader HE. Yeah, we're waiting on that. And we're going to be watching the ES here when the minutes are released. Okay, so a great hero kickoff setup, and this was the best setup of the day. There was a lot of correlation between some of the stocks that I follow and options trades, and then a couple of divergent setups. But again, this was the best setup. It was telegraphed well in advance. And I'm going to take a quick look at SPY and show you that I am having the same issue as yesterday. No data in the current order book, nothing in the heat map. So I'm pretty limited with stocks today in Bookmap. So I'm still trying to get that resolved. Bookmap support is working on it, and I'm trying to figure it out also. Okay, so and again, this shows the reversal right at the 380 level, and again, that is the key gamma strike, not the put wall. All right, let's go back to ES, and we'll wait on the data, and let's just open up. I'm going to close this. Actually, I'm going to open it up again. We'll watch the hedging flow as this comes out, and let's open up. Open up financial juice here, and we'll see if we can get any commentary or any report of what's in the minutes. Okay, I've got 2 p.m. and we'll watch this, and let me know if anybody has any questions or comments. I'm going to zoom in a bit, take a closer look at this. And remember, with a sharp move higher, both the ES 3900 level and the SPX 3900 level are potentially in play. And let's take a look at Hero and see what options traders are doing. And I'm going to go to a shorter look back period. Let's shift that to 30 minutes. Actually, let's shift that to maybe 10 minutes. All right, so far this is showing bullish options trades. Shift that to 5 minutes. That's as small as I want to go. Let's go back to Bookmap. Well, now we may need to look at the 3,800 level being potentially in play. Zoom down. So that is a support level. And then also recall the 380 key gamma strike was in play as well. Let me just update that so it's not confusing. Okay, I changed my notes, so that is now should be shown as the key gamma strike rather than the put wall. Okay, folks, let me know what you want to see. I can go over some setups, or we can continue to watch ES. Let me know if there are any preferences. All right, I'm going to watch this for another, let's say 5 minutes, up until about 2:10, and then we'll take a look at some setups from this morning. And let's go back and take a look at Hero and see what options traders are doing. And they continue to take bullish options trades. Remember, we're on a 5-minute look back period, so this is very fast look back period. And traders are both selling puts and buying calls. And it looks like they were doing that just before price tested the the volatility trigger level and just below. And for those on YouTube, apologies, I'm still not seeing the stream or chat, so I can't respond to your questions and comments. Again, I apologize. I'm having some technical difficulties. Zoom in a little bit here. So the light blue line that shows that large traders were buying with iceberg orders as price dropped. Buy stop orders, that's shown by the yellow line, are going off now. And go back to Hero. And options traders were selling puts and buying calls. And it looks like they continue to sell puts and buy calls. Okay, I'm going to probably wait about another minute, and then I'll go through some setups. And let's go back to Hero now, Bookmap. So now it looks like price is making made a lower high here and maybe moving lower, but the data came out less than 10 minutes ago, so you never know. All right, let's take a look at some setups. So the first stock that I want to take a look at is Amazon. And again, I'm having technical difficulties with DX feed, so I have nothing in the current order book or the heat map, and all I'm showing is best bid and offer. So let's go look at Hero now, and I'm going to change this back to my default, which is total and a 1-day look back period, and we'll get back to ES in a few minutes. So Amazon, and what I saw this morning was a divergent setup with Hero rising, and then price followed a few minutes later. Well, it looks like almost 15 to 30 minutes, depending on how you're looking at this. So a nice divergence setup, bullish divergent setup in Amazon. And let's go back and look at Bookmap. and the reversal was around the 83.50 level. Again, I can't show much in order flow to show an indication of a reversal, so sorry about that. All right, the next one, we looked at ES already, and that was the best, I thought the best setup of the morning. That, the clear divergence that I showed earlier, and that would apply to SPY as well. So, there were a number of ways to take that trade: buy futures, buy SPY shares, buy SPY calls, sell puts, buy SPX calls, sell SPX puts. All would have worked. And the next is Meta. And let's go take a look at Hero. And there's a strong correlation between options trades, market maker hedging activity, and price action in Meta, and it looks like calls were driving. So as traders started buying calls, that's when price started to increase. And I'm looking at the orange line. A rising orange line means that traders are buying calls. Let's go back to Bookmap. And the reversal happened right at the 126 level. So nice divergence, or nice correlation, confirmation set up with Meta. The next one was Moderna. Let's go to Hero. Moderna. And there was a strong confirmation for the move lower. And I didn't see any clear advantage of necessarily separating out calls and puts. It looks like puts might have been driving more. So traders were selling calls, and as they stopped selling calls, they continued to buy puts, moving price lower until about 10:20, 10:30. Let's go back and take a look at Bookmap. And this is the move lower that was driven by options trading and market maker hedging activity. And the next one was Microsoft. Let's take a look at Hero. Go to Microsoft, and notice the weak signal here. This is the Hero signal, showing the strength of the Hero signal in the last 30 days, and that's shown by the entire length of this slider here, and it's shaded light gray. And then the colored portion shows the strength of the signal in the last 5 days. And notice the weakness for Meta. Actually, that's Google, Meta, Moderna, and Microsoft. All right, so let's take a look at Microsoft now. And there's a strong correlation both up and down between options trades, market maker hedging activity, and price action. So this was a more of a confirmation setup with calls. So traders were selling calls initially in the morning until about 10:15 to 10:30, and that was driving price lower. And then they stopped and started buying calls, and price started to increase after that. All right, let's go take a look at Bookmap. There's Microsoft, and again, looks like the best setup was here in the morning, with the price drop down until about 10:15 to 10:30, as traders were selling calls. Next one is Netflix. Let's go take a look at Hero. And notice the strong signal with Netflix. Hero signal is the strongest that it has been in the last 30 days, and stronger than it has been in the last 5 days. And as usual for Netflix, there's a strong correlation between options trades, market maker hedging activity, and options trades and price action. And it looks like call buyers are driving the move higher, or were driving the move higher after about 10:15. So I've mentioned this before, as a stock trader, this is what you want to look for if you're looking for a long entry. You want to look for call buyers, and the way that works is when traders buy calls, market makers are selling the calls, and they have to buy stock to hedge their delta exposure. And as price keeps increasing, they have to continue to buy stock to hedge their delta exposure. And this can create a feedback loop that's great for traders. So this, if you're looking for a long entry, this is what you want to look for, is traders buying calls. And that was probably the best stock setup of the day. And the next one is NVIDIA. It looks like in the morning traders were selling calls, and that was helping to drive price lower. And then they started selling puts, and the total line makes this more clear, the strong correlation between hedging activity and price action. Let's go take a look at Bookmap. There's NVIDIA. So again, NVIDIA good short and long setups today following Hero. QQQ. Take a look at Hero. Strong correlation, again, between options trades, hedging activity, and price action, and especially with the reversal higher around 10:15. Call driven. Traders started buying calls. So this is really kind of a small divergent setup here. Traders started buying calls and price reversed higher at looks like around just below 263, and then price moved higher. Let's take a look at Bookmap again, and there's the reversal higher at 263. Unfortunately, I can't see any order flow, nothing in the heat map, no liquidity, no change in volume dots to confirm that reversal higher. Take a look at SPY, and this is going to be the same as ES with just a lot more information in ES. And we'll take a look at Tesla, and then we'll go back to ES and see what's happening there. So Tesla is definitely bullish today, and I saw a call divergence setup earlier. So let's go take a look at Tesla. Let's zoom in, and this is what I saw. And so initially, first thing in the morning, traders are buying calls and price increases, and then price drops. But at the same time, traders really don't, they sell a few calls, but they continue to buy calls. And then price reverses higher just before 10:10. So this was the entry point for that divergence setup higher. And to see this in Tesla is pretty rare. Usually there's a very strong correlation between options trades, market maker hedging activity, and price action in Tesla. So nice divergence setup there in Tesla. Let's change that back to the total. And go take a look at Bookmap again. And there's the long setup. And that looks like right at the lower edge of the expected move, which is something that I track every week. That is the weekly lower edge, the expected move, and I get that information from Thinkorswim and just mark it in my C levels spreadsheet. So interesting how price reversed, and that's a one standard deviation move for the week based on the options market. So that is what the options market was pricing in for this week. Lower edge of the expected move, just above 108. All right, let's go take a look at ES. We've got 4 or 5 minutes left, and it looks like price is moving lower. let's go back and check Hero now. And let's just take a quick look at SPY. Let's go to a shorter rolling window here. Let's stick with 10 minutes. So this shows that traders starting at around 206 started taking bearish options trades. So it took a little bit of time for this to play out. And as price increased, this would have been a good setup. So it looks like price made a slightly higher high as Hero made a lower high, and there would have been a good short setup. And let's go take a look at Bookmap again. We'll stick with ES. And note the time, that's about 14:18, 14:20. So here's the short setup. So price made a slightly higher high as Hero was trending down, and it looks like larger traders was selling with iceberg orders at the same time. And then the aggressive sellers start coming in with the pink dots there with their market orders selling, and then price is dropping down, now down to the ES 3850 level, and potentially next stop down would be the 380 SPY 380 key gamma strike. Let's go take a look at Hero one more time. Now it looks like they're maybe either taking profits or taking, at any rate, bullish options trades. Zoom in just a bit. So nice short setup here as Hero was dropping and price made a slightly higher high. Oops, I think I have my microphone down. So again, nice setup here. Hero dropping with price making a slightly higher high, and there's your short setup at around 1420 as the aggressive sellers start to come in, shown with the green pink dots in Bookmap. So my time is up. Let me know if you have any questions or comments, and sorry about these technical issues. I hope to get this resolved by tomorrow. So again, let me know if you have any questions and comments, and I'm going to wrap it up at this point. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your questions and comments, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks again. Bye.